Welcome back to the show, guys. Today we got a special episode for you. I got my friend Yadir over here, Yadir Perez. This is actually his second time on the show. The first time it's not been released. It was a good episode. I thought we had some good stories, but my boy Yadir, he just didn't feel comfortable with it. He said some stuff about, the and I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That's what I'm saying right now.
I'm just kidding.
The whole episode is gonna be about the Jews.
People. No, I'm just kidding. It was just I don't know. He just didn't feel comfortable with it. It happens. There's some episodes that I've shelved because people didn't like it, and I'm okay with that. It doesn't bother me, bro. Honestly, when I put stuff out there, it's like for you guys as much as it is for me, But we got Yadir on. He's on second time around. He's got a fight coming up. We've been talking about EFL for a while. For those of you that don't know what EFL is, it's the Elbow Fighting League. It's basically boxing with elbows. They're going to have their first event on March 7th, which is coming up. I think we're on February 26th. God damn. And he will be competing there. He's going to be fighting at 135.
130. So it was supposed to be 135, but I believe my opponent couldn't make weight. So I think it's either going to be 137 to 140. So within that range.
130. That's a big...
It's a heavier weight class than I'm used to fighting. I'm used to fighting at 127. So this is going to be the heaviest weight I fought at before. So he's going to be a little bigger than me, but I'm ready.
Yep. Yadir's ready. For those of you guys, if you've seen Yadir fight, he kind of prefers more of the kickboxing style than the Muay Thai style. So I think this is right up his alley. He loves his boxing. I've sparred with him so many rounds, dude. So it's literally he's boxing heavy, and now he gets to throw elbows. It's like, what else do you want, bro?
Yeah, it's like dirty boxing. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be basically dirty boxing, but with boxing gloves instead of with the MMA gloves. And in dirty boxing, you're allowed to ground and pound for, I think it's like 10 seconds or something, right?
Yeah. So on this one, there's no ground and pound.
No ground.
It's just boxing with elbows.
Yeah.
And spinning stuff too.
They're allowed spinning stuff?
I think so. I believe so.
That's interesting. You should got it with the elbows, right?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like Muay Thai without the clinching, without the knees and sweeps.
Or the kicks.
Yeah. Too, so.
I talked to Danny about it, and I brought up the dirty boxing thing, and he said he had this in the works before dirty boxing became a thing. Because, dirty boxing is barely on number 5, I think, right?
Yeah.
And I think he said this took a while to get like the regulators involved. He had to go through a crazy path because I remember he said he's going through the Muay Thai Commission, right? Or the kickboxing, and I think it's a kickboxing Muay Thai commission, whatever, right? And then now he's getting hit with the boxing commission, so they want to cut of the pie because they're saying it's basically boxing. That's kind of a weird one. Like, where do you put that, dude?
Honestly, it's like a mixture. It's like in between Muay Thai and boxing, so it's like boxing meets Muay Thai.
Yeah.
So I think it's its own promotion. It shouldn't even nobody should even be taking cut of the pie in that.
Yeah.
I think it should just run with it.
Yeah, but this is America, bro, and we're regulated as crap as hell, dude. So I cannot. So Muay Thai, they're regulated under the Kickboxing Federation, technically, right?
IKF.
Yeah, well, IKF is they're a regulatory body, but it's like all of technically, from what I understand, Muay Thai is considered like part of the kickboxing sport in America. It's like weird, and I get it because it's like in America, they're not gonna make these little differences. It's like they're similar, right? They're similar enough, I guess. Yeah. So I understand. I guess kickboxing won.
It's very similar.
Kickboxing won, bro.
Yeah. I prefer kickboxing over Muay Thai.
I know. I like them both because I think kickboxing, it's like so much more fast paced, dude. And I like watching that, but I do like the beauty of Muay Thai when it comes to like the cleanliness and the rhythm of it. You see Thai fighters, it's like they have a high emphasis on like how it looks,
Yeah.
And versus like sometimes you'll see like kickboxers, it's like all gas and they kind of forego technique. I don't know. I like them both. I like watching both, but kickboxing is probably going to get you more views. I think in today's
for sure.
In today's market, but anyway, so yeah, EFL, bro. How did you even like find out about this?
Coach Frankie, he just messaged me. He's like, "Hey, do you want to fight?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And he said it's a promotion that's just boxing with the elbow. So he said it's kind of like tailor made for me. Like he said, I'm boxing heavy, and literally I was just on my way to go eat. Haven't fought in a year. Super overweight. Haven't even been training at the gym at this time consistently, just because I've been busy with the tattooing and working and everything. So I haven't been in the gym at this time. And then he messaged me. I'm like, all right, let's get to work. So as soon as he messaged me, started, being more committed to training, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the last few fights you did. You were trying to do just kickboxing, and then Fighter Chef went away. And plus, you had the whole thing with Fighter Chef that kind of
they shut down the promotion.
yeah. I don't know if
It sucks. It was a really good promotion,
dude. Everyone tells me that when they come on, bro.
Super good promotion.
Yeah,
like their whole show is like it felt really good. Just like the way they ran it, it was very professional.
Yeah,
so I liked it.
Yeah, I think they were like the only good kickboxing promotion in California that I can think of.
Yeah.
I know WCK, they do have kickboxing bouts, you know, but it's like they're not like only a kickboxing thing, right? It's a Muay Thai thing, but then they just they just have kickboxing belts in their promotion, right? I like George's thing because it was like just kickboxing. It's like
I think the majority of the promotions are all Muay Thai. I don't really know too many just kickboxing promotions.
Yeah, they're Muay Thai now, but then they'll have like kickboxing like bouts.
Yeah.
But within the Muay Thai, like promote, like the whole card will be like 10 Muay Thai fights and like 2 or 3 kickboxing cards. It gets weird too because then I kind of don't like when promotions do that because I feel like you got to pick one thing and have that be your brand, right? But then I think the other problem is then now you start having guys fight and it's like you have a guy come in wanting to do Muay Thai and his opponent might be confused and he might have been told kickboxing maybe and like because it's like you know how promotions are run, bro. It's like you have your main guy, right? But then he's got his matchmakers. And so you have one matchmaker sometimes talking to this guy and the other matchmaker talking to this guy. And then sometimes they show up and then this dude's like, oh shit, I told him it's kickboxing.
Yeah.
And the other dude's like, oh, bro, now it's
all these little mixture rules.
Yeah. And so then you show up at the fight and then now you got to make something happen right then and there. Like, how are we going to do it? You know? So I think if it's just, you're like, this is a Muay Thai promotion. This is all we can do. And this is a kickboxing promotion. This is all we do. I feel like that would help. I don't know though. I take that back actually. Cause ONE FC does it both ways.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A lot of like major promotions, they'll have like Muay Thai fight and then they'll have an MMA fight and then they have like kickboxing fight. So all in the same event. So
yeah.
I mean, it could be pretty cool because then the crowd too, they get to see a little bit of a variety of different fights. So I mean, it could be pretty cool as long as everybody knows what they're doing.
Yeah, it gets hard though because there's different. It's the regulatory bodies. It's like for I think MMA. What do they use? They use like IFMA or something, right? I don't know. I can't even remember, dude. There's so many like bodies that I have in my head that regulatory bodies that I think of now because of this podcast. But yeah, so let's just get in a little bit about you before we get into what's going on now, right? I mean, dude, so I was thinking about you on my way home from work, you know, just because I was thinking about our first interview and just our friendship, our relationship and whatnot. And I remember a long time ago, I was watching a YouTube video about this guy and he wrote that there's 5 archetypes of a fighter. And one of them was the God fighter when he used Yadir, or no, not Yadir. What's his name? Yoel Romero as the example. And I was like, dude, that's totally a deer, bro. Except for you're not Achu style.
Yeah.
But yeah, how does is that kind of a conflicting thing being like a man of like God and then being into like violence like that?
Yeah. So you know what? And this is gonna kind of go like based off of kind of like into why I didn't really feel comfortable in releasing the last episode was because, you know, I want to believe that, like as long as I've known you, I've been a man of God. Like I've been I started going to Southern Muay Thai like 4 years ago, and I was like very heavy and plugged into church and everything. And I was like very dedicated, but like the last few years I kind of started I don't want to say drifting away, but kind of I don't even want to say backsliding, but kind of been falling back a little bit in my own personal relationship with God. And the last time we had our interview, I was kind of already like on the fence, like living in the church, living like dedicated to God. But then I was also like outside of church, I was also, living contrary to what the Bible says. And then when we're like having our podcast, I was talking about, being a Christian and preaching all these things. But I was like, you know what? Like, I'm not living that lifestyle. I'm not living a godly lifestyle. So I didn't feel comfortable releasing that. And even, saying that I'm a godly fighter because I'm not representing God. And I don't want people to see this interview and be like, oh, he's over here preaching about God, but last week he was over here doing that, or he was, I seen him at the bar or drinking or whatever it is. I don't want people to see me and say, oh, he's preaching, he's a hypocrite, because I'm not living the best godly example But when I was, on fire, when I was dedicated, I wouldn't even say it's a conflicting serving God and fighting. I feel like it goes hand in hand. I feel like if you are a man of God, you have to be courageous. You have to be a fighter. You have to be and I don't mean physically fighter, but you have to be somebody who's willing to put your life at risk. If fighting isn't necessarily putting your life at risk, but me as a man of God, like I put my faith in God, and you have to show courage. The Bible says that it says something about being courageous, and it says that those who are not courageous will not inherit the kingdom of God. So in a way, kind of, and I'm not saying like it has to be you have to show masculinity, but you have to show courage. And I feel like it goes kind of hand in hand. But yeah, if that makes sense.
I kind of get what you're saying. I didn't realize that you were slipping off the slope the last time we met. Man, what did you get into?
Yeah.
Some hair on or something?
No, I didn't get into any of that. It's kind of a long story.
Yeah, you don't have to get into it if you don't want to, but if you want to, I'm down to listen to it.
Yeah, so honestly, it's like, it kind of started like a few years ago. Like, I was like, I started going to church when I was a kid, when I was in high school. And I started going to church when with a few other friends from our school. Like, we all just went as a group. And, my twin brother, he started dating the pastor's daughter. So we got close to my pastor's family. And, they're my family. They're always going to be my family. I love my pastors. I love my sister-in-law, everybody. But we started going to the church, and, it was a big group of us, a big youth group, actually. And we were all just super dedicated in the church, super dedicated into God. Like, that was my whole life. Just everything I ever focused on, it was just God. And then, when I became 18, I became the youth leader. And then I started leading youth, which is from like ages 12 to 18. And because we all became leaders in the church. And even my friends that I'll hang out with all the time, they became leaders too. And I was going through a lot at this time, which is like a few years ago. Like, a lot was happening in my life, but honestly, nothing could ever sway my faith, and nothing could ever push me away from God. Like, I could be going through any trials, tribulations, and I'll take it all head on, and it wouldn't make me question or doubt God. But I started questioning everything that I believed in when our leadership, they started following a different theology. And so for those of you that are Christian, there's like two main denominations, or two different theologies that Christianity is divided by. And it's Armenians and Calvinism. And we've always been on the Armenian side, which is, they believe that anybody can choose to believe in God, right? And the other side, and I always believe that, and the other side, they believe in predestination. So they believe that it's not, you can't choose God, that you're either predestined for heaven or you're predestined for hell. And I never believed in that. I was like, that's crazy. Like, how can anybody believe in that? But we had a few people in our church that started believing in that. And I'll have debates with them all the time. Like, oh no, it's not true. It can't be. And then we would have debates all the time. And then I'll start reading scriptures. And a lot of it kind of made sense to what they were saying. And you would read scriptures that would say that that we didn't choose God, but He chose us, or Jesus died for the elect. And the more I started looking into it, they said, oh, like, one of the things that they would say was, does God not have, or are we more powerful than God in order for us to choose God, or is God in control of everything? And I was like, is there something that God's not in control of? And I was like, no, like God controls everything. And they're like, oh, so why does it stop at your salvation? And I just thought about that. I was like, damn, like, and honestly, just kind of, and I don't want to like persuade anybody's like feelings or emotions, or this isn't about that, but it's just like about my own personal thoughts about how like everything happened in my own thinking. And I was just like thinking like, damn, like, did I choose, like, am I predestined or did I choose God? And I just kind of started questioning everything. And then it got to the point where I started getting so bitter. Like I got really bitter because, you know, everybody ended up leaving the church. So it was just kind of like me and my brother were like the only ones that were still in this church with a few other people. But I remember just like I'll still go to church and I'll be questioning everything that I'm like, I'll be going to church and I'll be preaching at the same time. I'll be giving Bible studies to the youth, and I'll be avoiding scriptures like that I didn't want to touch on because I didn't want to say something that I didn't believe in. And when the moment I started doing that is the moment I knew that, okay, I shouldn't be leading anymore. If I have to skip over scriptures, then I shouldn't be a leader. And I remember one day I was just in the church, and like everybody that I grew up with going to church, like they had all left, and I was just there like in the church. Do you know the Will Smith little clip where he's just like in the house, just like, and it's all empty? I think it's from like he's just like looking in the room with his hands in his pockets.
Is everyone's at church or something?
No, because everybody's gone. Like there's just like an empty house. And it just felt like that. I was just like looking at the church.
Wait, was that the episode when he like met his dad?
I think so.
That episode was so sad, bro.
Yeah. So he's like just there with his hands in his pockets, like looking, and nobody's there. And you know, when everybody left the church, because once all the leaders left, like the church kind of got divided, and it was I felt like it was empty. Like there was still a few people going, but I remember I was just in church, like with my hands in my pocket, like looking. I was like, damn, where's everybody at? Like everybody that I grew up with going to church, like everybody kind of left. I didn't feel like I had the accountability. I did have the accountability. I did have other brothers and sisters in the church, but I didn't feel comfortable opening up. And I just kind of like went on my own way, and I started hanging out with people outside the church. And, you know, when you start like living in sin, then it's kind of hard to come back. But like, you know, the Bible speaks against like being a drunk, and, you know, just finding myself getting drunk on the weekends, and like then going to church the next day, and like giving Bible studies to the youth, and then like also growing up, I always said, okay, I never want to have sex until I get married. That's always been my thing. And you know,
you clap cheeks or what?
I don't want to like. I'm not gonna talk about like my
Sorry,
love life or anything, but like things that I held sacred to my life. Like, okay, I'm you know, gonna stay abstinent until I get married. And, you know, I held that on to the longest, and just things that I said I wouldn't do, I ended up doing, and just living a life that's contrary to the Bible. And, but a lot was happening in my life at that time. But the thing is that like, the reason why I started going down like down the rails, like head on, is because I kind of told myself, I was like, damn, like, all right, like if I'm predestined, like if my life is predestined, and like I'm either destined for heaven or hell, then there's nothing that I can do in my own power like that can change that. So I was like, all right, I kind of like, in a way, I kind of told God, like, all right, I'll show you how in control I am of my life. And then like I started sinning on purpose. Like I started sinning to kind of just like kind of out of bitterness, because like everything that I thought I believed in, I started questioning. So yeah, I kind of just started going downhill. And at the time too, like my mom was getting really sick. So I was just going through a lot at the time, and it was just like a lot of stress on my shoulders. Like I'll be leading the youth, and, you know, giving up of my time to them like all the time. And then, but I'm also supposed to, you know, be my little brother's main caretaker because he has autism. And like, I feel like I was lacking in that. I feel like I'm over here, you know, dedicating my whole life to the youth in the church, but my little brother's here at home, like, and I'm not even, you know, giving him the time of day, and I'm supposed to be his main caretaker. And I just got convicted. I was like, how am I not here for my own family? And I'm over here like spending more time at church or giving all of my time to the youth, which like, I don't regret any of that. Like, um, all the time that I spent in church, like, I loved it. I loved being with the youth. I loved being with the church, and but I just felt like I was neglecting my own family at times, and just everything that I was going through at the time. And it's like, I don't want to make excuses like, oh, just because, he started backtracking just because he was going through like hardships or whatever. And I don't even want to compare my hardships because I didn't even go through anything hard or anything. But yeah, it's just like, it was more of a headspace that I was in, just questioning my own theology, questioning my own beliefs. But one thing I'll never question is God. I'm always going to believe in God. Whatever theology it is, like whatever theology is true, I can never question God because creation in itself cries out that there's a God. So
yeah, honestly, I feel like what you talked about right now was like a struggle that I think a lot of, I'm gonna say men because I'm not a woman, so I don't understand what they go through, but I feel like a lot of men, once they get to like their late 20s, early 30s, they go through this thing where they just don't know if all the time they're putting into something, if it's worth it, I guess, you know what I mean? Especially because the time away from family, dude, like honestly, I recently started thinking about something like that because I'm not really close to my family, bro. Like at all, I don't talk to my cousins. I don't talk to my aunts or uncles. Like I barely see them. Even like my sisters I'm pretty cool with, but I barely see them too, and I saw my mom on Saturday because of Chinese New Year. She's not even Asian. She's Mexican, but she just like likes to celebrate our culture, I'm Vietnamese, by the way, the people watching. I'm not Chinese, but we celebrate the same New Year. We call it Lunar New Year. But anyways, but my mom like had told me that she'd been going through depression as of recent. My mom's like kind of similar to me. She's very happy and like chill. Like in the past, she's never like mentioned stuff like that. And she even told me she's like, I'm actually on medicine because this is something I never dealt with. And like I started talking to my sister like after we had our lunch, and I was like, damn, bro, like I like never see my mom. I'm never around her. I never talked to her. I never call her. You know what I mean? And I was just like, I wonder if I'm contributing to like the overall depression. And then I started like thinking about like the reason I don't have time to see my mom is because I work and then I'm at the gym, then I got this stuff going on and like my side jobs, I actually, as recent, like within the last couple months, dude, I don't know if you noticed, but I've been taking more time away from the gym because like last year, my New Year's resolution for last year, I had two of them. One of them was to quit vaping, which I did, dude. And the other one was I wanted to spend less time at the gym because it's not that I don't love Spider and I love you guys. You guys are family, bro. But I was like, damn, dude, it's to the point where I'm kind of like off my responsibilities just to go to the gym because it's fun. You know what I mean? So I was like, I got to get my finances in check, bro. I got to try to like spend more time with my friends and my family, bro. I have friends that like, they don't even hit me up anymore because they know I'm just going to be busy at the gym or busy with work, So I think a lot of men, dude, once they get to a certain age, they kind of start questioning whether it's theology or for me at the time, it's the gym, It's like you ask yourself, like, is the sacrifice like worth anything, The problem with theology, though, is it's kind of like a all or nothing situation, right? Because it's like you have to believe it's going to take you somewhere. Otherwise, when you die, it was worth it, not worthless. You know what I mean? You just wasted your time technically. So I don't know, man. I think the best advice I can give to young men out there is whatever you're doing, make sure that you have a clear headspace when you decide if you want to keep doing it or not. You gotta like, if you're gonna quit something, like I always tell people, do it for a year at least minimum. And if you're gonna quit it, dude, make sure that whatever you're replacing it with is gonna be worth it. Because if you're gonna quit something just to fuck off, then what does that mean? I don't know the answer for religion. I'm not a religious person, bro. I mean, you know me, bro. I mean, I don't hate God or anything. I'm not spiteful towards him, but I mean, I just personally, I don't know if he exists. I'm not going to say he doesn't because I don't know everything, and I'd like him to exist. Whether or not I get to go to heaven, I think it'd be nice if if he existed, But I just like, I always felt like I didn't see the signs for him, And so I can imagine like someone who believes in him and then they're at the point in their life where they're like, dude, is he real or does this matter?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's like a scary thing, I guess, right? I mean, how did you feel?
Yeah. And I can't say I ever doubted God. I never questioned God. I always knew that there's a God. Like that's not like me doubting God isn't even a question. The The only thing that I was questioning was theology. Like, sir, like which is the true theology? But like, just like I said, like just creation in itself, like yeah, creation in itself just kind of like tells you that there's God because everything is created. So nothing is by accident. Like if you look at everything in life, like the way that the water's where it's supposed to be, the grass is where it's supposed to be, like the skies where it's supposed to be, like our organs, like everything's just so complex, but everything is in its place perfectly, and none of it was by accident. So there's no questioning a creator. The only thing that I was questioning was how to get there. Like, is it by our own will, or are we predestined with heaven and hell? Because and it just started questioning, like, you know, which is the truth? Because even though like it's like both of these like theologies, like they're both like under Christianity, and like we both believe that Jesus Christ came and he died for our sins. Like the biggest division is like, do we have control of that? Like, are we in control of making our decision to be able to make it to heaven or not? Or is that something that's already predestined before we were even born? And just questioning that is what kind of made me like took me off the rails, and kind of made me start kind of like it just made me start questioning everything. And that's why I was like, you know what, I should probably take a step back from church and take a step back from like my own beliefs. But man, like I can't stay away from church because, like I said, it's my family, and like I love my pastors. I love my pastor Santos, Elena, like they're the best people. And the people in the church, like they're the best. Like the youth, everybody, like I love everybody. So I can't even stay away from them. But just like I was just struggling with my own thoughts and my own theology, and it was just a personal issue, personal problem.
Yeah. Do you feel like do you feel that it's all destined, like predestined still? Or, I mean,
I don't know. You know, it got to the point where I was just like, you know what? If I keep thinking about this, then I'm gonna lose it. Like I can't dwell on this anymore. So that's why I kind of just take a step back, and I haven't been reading my Bible. I haven't been like involved in church, just because I kind of like took a step back just to get like my mind, like mental clarity. Just like, you know what, I'm just gonna do my own thing, and I'm not living a godly life. I'm not living a Christ life example. That's why, like, when people ask me, like, "Oh, are you Christian?" Like, yeah, I believe in God, but I don't want to say I'm a Christian because I don't want people to look at me and be like, that's how a Christian's supposed to act. Like, you're over here getting drunk, you're over here getting in fights, you're over here, you know, doing this or that, whatever it is. And people are like, is that how a Christian's supposed to act? Like, no, it's not how a Christian's supposed to act. Like, when you become a Christian, like, the Holy Spirit changes you, changes your way of thinking, changes your lifestyle. And there's evidence in, just like, you know, a tree by its fruit. Like, if you see a tree and you see apples, like, oh, that's an apple tree. If you see oranges on a tree, like, oh, that's an orange tree. But same thing, like, if you see a person and they're like,
fucking fire alarm, bro.
It's all right.
I'm gonna leave it though. It's out there.
Yeah.
Hopefully the mics don't catch it.
But if you see a person and they're like, you know, being kind, being generous, showing compassion, like, oh, you know what? They're showing traits of a Christian. That's a Christian. But if you see somebody who's, you know, getting high, getting drunk, you know, getting in fights, you know, sleeping around, whatever, like,
then they're most homies.
Like, that's not a Christian. Like, you kind of see a tree by its tree. You see a person by their actions. And that's why I don't want to say I'm a Christian, but I'm always going to believe in God. Like, that'll never go away.
Yeah. Do you ever think you might jump teams to like a different religion?
Nah, I don't. I think all the religions point to Jesus as the Messiah. Every religion, you know, whatever religion, even the Muslims, like, even they believe as Jesus as I don't think they believe in him as God, but they believe in him as a prophet.
Yeah.
Everybody believes in Jesus, but Christians don't believe in every other religion. So every religion points to Jesus, but only Christianity points to Jesus.
Yeah.
Nothing else. So.
Yeah, Christianity is a fascinating one. I'm not religious, but I like reading up on theology just because I'm super interested in history and like humankind and just like things that have helped advance us. And like, there's no denying that religion has helped make humans As advanced as we are, bro, because if you think about it, like even letters, like the letters were just they were hieroglyphs of things that were inside the Bible. Like the letter J was literally a picture of Jesus. Like when I think can't remember how they described it, but it was like his shape or something. And like the letter I was like it was like something that a house that was in some hieroglyph they found. Anyways, my point being though is I don't know which one's the right one, which one's the wrong one, but I love reading up on it. And one thing that fascinates me a lot about the Christian religion is up until a certain point in history, like the Bible had been very like God was kind of interpreted as like this very malevolent type being. You know, it was kind of like an all or nothing type thing, and if you don't follow him, then you're gonna be punished. And I know the Christian religion that when Jesus had like brought that forward, that was kind of like a more of a modern take on religion. It was kind of more like love thy neighbor, being treat each other well type ish. You know. I'm saying type ish because I can't cuss. I'll take it out though. I'll take it out if you do. You can cuss though. You can cuss. But but I was always fascinated by that religion because of, like I said, just because of the fact that it has like there's no denying that Western values are built upon like Christian values, right? Like America's like the way our rule of laws are based off of the Christian religion, right? And so I think if you're gonna pick a religion and if you want to pick the best one in terms of what is going to push society forward, I guess it'd be the Christian one, right?
Yeah.
But I've always been fascinated by it, bro. My dad's Buddhist, so I learned about Buddhism. My mom, she was a Catholic. She converted into a Jehovah's Witness. I learned about, God damn, that fire alarm. I'm going to ignore it, though. Hopefully it goes out.
I don't think you'll catch it. I mean,
the audio?
You think so?
I don't think so, dude. So that's why. But it's just personally, it's annoying. But yeah, dude. So did you ever hear about how supposedly Jesus spent a bunch of time in Tibet? You know where Tibet is, right? You know where Tibet is?
No.
So Tibet is in China, right? So think of like the Mongolians and stuff like that. Those type of monks. I'm sorry. No, Tibet is like India. I think it does border around Mongolia too, but it's basically the border between India and China, right? So like the old school Buddhist monks, they're from Tibet, right? So the like legit like Buddhism is the Tibetan monks. The Dalai Lama comes from Tibet, right? He's like the Dalai Lama. The best way I could describe him would be like the Pope for Buddhism, right? Anyways, there was a German scholar who was just randomly traveling to Tibet, and he found like a drawing of Jesus in this temple, right? And he asked him about it, and they showed him a bunch of books and stuff about Jesus. Allegedly, like he traveled to Tibet, like so. You know how like I don't remember how old he was, but he like kind of disappeared for a while, like in like whatever country he was in. Where was he in, like Jerusalem or something like that? They kicked him out, right? Because like they didn't like him, whatever. The government kicked him out, and then he returned, and that's when he came back with the Christian religion, right? I don't know if you know the history of all that, right? So, like, if you look at history, there's just there's no books about what he did in that time. I think he was gone for like 13 years, you know? And so there's these books in Tibet that say that whole time he was gone, he traveled to go to Tibet, and the monks kind of like housed him. And from Buddhism, he created like this Christian religion. He took like the concepts of like Judaism, right? Like the stuff about God and all that. And then he implemented like the stuff about Buddhism that's about being chill and nice to each other. He just was like, oh, I like being nice to people. I don't like to be punished for bad things. So he kind of like just took aspects of Buddhism and merged them with Judaism, allegedly. And that's how he started the Christian religion, you know? I don't know, bro. I just thought that was fascinating when I learned that. I was like, what? I mean, and I don't know how true it is. I think they are trying to see if I mean, it's possible it was all doctored, right? Like it might not be real. We don't know how far back these were made. You know, we weren't around. But that type of stuff fascinates me, man. It does. You ever like brush up on other religions, or is that kind of like a sin?
No, well, I grew up a Catholic, which is kind of like, I mean, it's under the same umbrella because we believe in Jesus Christ. But the Catholic religion is, you know, they have their saints, they worship the Virgin Mary, but it's a little different, few differences. But we believe that Jesus Christ is the only way. Like the Bible says, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father but through him. So he's the only way. And, you know, I'm always going to believe in that. Just like I said, like the only division is like, you know, are we predestined or are we able to choose Jesus? Like, and that's where I have my own
belief system.
But who knows? We believe that, like, because when you look at all these other religions, like everybody believes that, oh, you know, you have to be a good person to go to heaven, or you have to be like, whether it's heaven or whatever it is, whatever they believe. But everybody believes you have to do things in order to be saved. Like you have to do good, or like you have to say all these prayers, you have to give something to somebody or whatever it is. It's always about doing something. But Christianity is the only religion that says that there's nothing that you can do. It's not in your own power for you to save yourself, but it's only through Jesus Christ that you can be saved. So it's not about being a good person. It's not about giving to the homeless. It's not about sacrificing. It's none of that. None of that could ever save you, because the Bible says that there is not one who is righteous. But when you do accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior, that's when the Holy Spirit comes in your life, and he starts to, in sense, make you a good person, right? Make you righteous, make you like God. But there's nothing, no actions could save you, is what we believe. Like,
Interesting. I'll take it a little further, bro. Check this out. In terms of like how you feel like you're at a cod between, or I don't know if cod's the right word, but a fork between predestined or if we're in charge of free will, I guess. I feel like that's a good question that's been popped up in religion like throughout centuries. Like I remember reading books about stuff like that. But I have this running theory, bro. I have this theory, dude. I always question, like, are we... Like I always have this question about cognitive, about like how cognitive is the human mind, right? Like how sentient are we? Like, are we making decisions because we make these decisions, or are there things inside of us, like the atoms, the neurons, and all these, that they make the decisions for us, right? It's like we're simply just reacting to what our brain wants us to do, right? And I'll give you an example. Like it's hard to describe. I thought about this conversation a while ago, and I just haven't talked about it in a while. But I'll give you an example, right? When you look at ants, like we don't think about ants as being sentient, right? It's like they're just reacting to their environment. When you squish an ant, right, it doesn't have a concept of life or death. I'm sure it knows about death, danger, preserve yourself for the queen, but I don't think it thinks about death on like the level of like, was it spiritual, or are they sad? Like, oh, this is my homie type, right? And because the consensus is like their brains just don't have the bandwidth to do that. They're just reacting to their environment. Their whole point of living is to make sure the queen is protected, to pass their genetics, right?
Yeah.
And that's what supposedly that's what separates humans from everything else. It's like we have cognition. It's like we can think about things. It's like we understand our place in the universe, right? And so because of that, we can make decisions based on how we think, not how we feel. My question is like, what if it's all a trick, right? What if it's all bullshit? What if Mother Nature makes us think that we have cognition and free will, but it just tells us that in order to get us to do the things that it wants us to do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So, like as a Christian, I believe that we are all slaves to sin. Like when we're born, we're slaves to sin. So like our natural instinct is to sin. Like you don't need to teach a child to lie. You don't need to teach a child to steal. So, I believe that like it's just our sinful nature. That's how we're born, because of Adam and Eve. But in a sense, like we feel like we might have like our own control, in life. But at the end of the day, like we all sin, and the Bible says that we're all slaves to sin, but it's only through Jesus Christ that we're saved. And but we do have a conscience, and that's like the Holy Spirit. We have a conscience, like we know right from wrong. We know that like if we do something that we're not supposed to, it's bad, and we
Morality.
feel guilty. Yeah, we feel guilty because we have a conscience, and the world sees that, and they see it as conscious, but as Christians we see it as the Holy Spirit. So I don't know if that makes sense.
I see what you mean. You're talking like a soul, but that's my question: is do we even have a soul? What if the soul is not even real? What if it's just Mother Nature? I don't even know. What if even the concept of God is just our brains telling us to do this because Mother Nature is like, we need you to keep passing your genes, and so you better believe there's something out there, so you can pass. I don't know,
or
man.
Maybe the Jews just made everything up.
Oh, we've got this.
Yeah,
well, I mean, there's stuff before the Jews. Hey, you want to hear something crazy? Actually, so I told you, bro, I'm fascinated by the Christian religion just because it's definitely put its thumbprint on the existence of man, right? Have you ever heard of like the Dead Sea Scrolls? Mm-hmm. You know what they are, right? The oldest Bible to date, bro. So, what was the name of that guy, dude? There's a guy that the Vatican, I believe, hired to translate the Dead Sea Scrolls, and he studied Aramaic. That was his main point of study. I think between him and like, there's like 5 or 6 other people on the entire planet that like understand Aramaic to the point where they can like transcribe it, right? So the Vatican hired him to transcribe it. and he wrote a book about his findings, and he basically said that the Dead Sea Scrolls were which is the first. By the way, people that are listening, the Dead Sea Scrolls are the oldest Bible today. I don't know if I mentioned that, I might have, but what he said was the contents of the Dead Sea Scrolls were basically, it told him that the early Christian religion was predicated upon like basically mushroom trips and orgies. He said like everything in the Bible that to his knowledge was basically based off of like well, like for example, he talks about the significance of the Great Flood. He said like in our depictions of the Bible, right, the King James version, it's like the significance of the flood is it wipes away the evil so that like good can come back, right? It saves us, right? And he was saying that the reason Christians really talk about the flood a lot is because after a flood, then mushrooms grow, and so they would eat these mushrooms and then a lot to have kids. I don't know. I'm not trying to diss Christian religion and all that. I'm sorry, guys. Like, I don't come at my neck. I just read these things. And I'm just talking about them.
Yeah, I never heard about that, but
it's interesting, bro. It's interesting.
There's like so many conspiracies about it.
There's so many, and there's so many different Bibles, so you don't even know which. Like, right? You probably, I'm assuming you read the King James version. I'm assuming, right? That's like the 12th book, I think, the 12th rendition.
Nah, I read NIV.
NIV, which was NIV?
But I mean, there's like new. I think it's New International Version. I don't even know what it stands for, but I just say NIV. But yeah, there's a few different translations.
I like reading them, dude, just because I'm curious about that. Like, even though I'm like I said, I'm not a follower, but it's like I love to just understand things, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting.
The same thing. I'll read stuff about the Quran too. I'm interested in all of them, bro. I want to learn them all, dude. You know, I wish I like could dedicate the time to really like I would be down. I don't know if this is disrespectful, bro, but I would be down to go to like the churches and the synagogues and just like ask a pastor questions, dude. Like if I could get an interview,
it's not disrespectful. That's like. That's knowledgeable. Like that's wisdom.
Well, the reason I ask if it's disrespectful because it's like if I go to like a Christian pastor and then go to like a Catholic guy the next day, it's like I don't know if the religion's like I don't do that.
It's like everybody's in search for the truth at the end of the day. Like nobody knows like what the truth really is. So like we're all gonna seek it. Like every creation itself like seeks the truth. So whatever it is, like we should be asking questions. Like we should be like. I believe like in every Christian's life, like they even question their own faith. Like everybody's going to question something. Like you have to question, like, is what I'm following like even true? Like, or what is the truth? So, you know, we're all going to ask questions. Like that's just, and we should want to know what the truth is.
Yeah. I'm curious. Have you ever like, cause you said you've been in the same church since like you were little with your brother, right? Since you were like in high school, I think, right?
Since 15.
Yeah. So have you ever ventured to like other churches, or is that kind of like?
Nah. Like once I started going to that church, Streetlight Church, which is a Christian church.
Shout out Streetlight.
Yeah, shout out Streetlight Church. Everybody, I'm inviting you right now.
Check him out, dude. Get these hands or get this faith, bro.
But yeah, ever since I started going to church, I just stuck with that one.
Yeah. Is that like sinful to, even if it's another Christian church? Are you allowed to do that, or is that not kind of looked down upon?
No, I mean. You don't really want to like be going to like all these different churches because everybody's going to preach something else, you know, just like, and I'll tie this into the like into like fighting Muay Thai or whatever.
That's how I was exactly how I was thinking of it. Yeah.
You don't want to like be like, say like, oh yeah, this is my gym. But then you're going to all these different gyms, like to train, like if Coach Frankie's teaching us one thing and, you know, we're going to, you know, go by his teachings and then we go to another gym, like, and then they're going to teach you something else. And it's like contrary to what Coach Frankie taught us. Then it's like, okay, who's really our master, right? So like, who are we learning from? So, and that's the reason why too, like why we started having like a division in the church because, you know, people started venturing out to like different theologies, right? So like if I'm over here going to this church, like this Christian church that believes in like, hey, like, you know, if you believe in Jesus Christ, then you could be saved. But then I go to another church and they say, oh, you don't have control to be saved. Like it's not in your own power. Like only Jesus could save you and only Jesus can choose you. Like whether you can or like, then I'm gonna go back to my church and be like, well, this pastor's preaching this, you're preaching this. Like who's the truth? So like, you don't really want to be bouncing around from church to church. You just want to get plugged into your church and just stick by it. And, you know, just live by your own convictions. So
yeah, I think that's a good analogy was with the gym thing. That's kind of how I was putting it together in my head, to be honest.
Yeah. So I don't really like, I mean, I have like me personally, like all like Spiders is my home gym, but then I also like, you know, I coach boxing at the boxing club. You know, I'll go to another gym here too, like to spar. Like, oh, I'll spar at this gym. Like, but I'm not learning from them. I'm not like going to another gym to be like, I don't have like 3 different memberships. But it's like Spider's my home gym. But yeah, I'll go to another gym to spar.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like you gotta kind of have to with the sparring, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you like churches like compete with each other in terms of like trying to get people in and is like I'm sure there's a church around the corner from your church, right?
Uh-huh.
Or not? Is there like a rival church? I guess you could say?
there's no rivals.
Come on,
churches.
dude.
Like,
Come on, bro. Come on, you can tell me
that.
Maybe rival's a bad word. Is there a church that you compete with?
Nah, there's no competing. like we have I'll say compared to like other churches, like I don't even want to say compared to other churches because most of the local churches that I see in the area, like we're all pretty small. Like we're not a big church, so we're not competing for members. Like we're not competing for like we don't need to be a mega church. Like my pastor preaches what he preaches. If people like it, they can stay. If people don't like it, they can leave. So, I mean, like if people like, you know, like you have those mega churches that preach like all these things. They preach prosperity. They preach all these things, and it tickles people's ears. So they go there. They'll flood there. But if we wanted to draw in the crowd, then we'll be like, oh yeah, like you know, if you do this, then God's gonna make you rich. God's gonna do this for you. Like no. God doesn't have to do anything for you. Like, you know, if you want to listen, you can come listen. But yeah, we're not trying to compete to gain members or whatever. So
yeah. Did you see that? What's Joel Osteen's church name? Something Tree or something, right?
I don't even know the name of his church, but
did you see how they're doing bad right now?
Yeah, I don't even keep up with his church. I don't really keep up with other churches. Like even my church, like I don't really go to my church, my home church a lot either. Like I've probably been there like once in the last month, once or twice. So I haven't been able to go to my church. So I'm not going to be like looking at other churches.
Yeah. Well, I just like to stay up to date with what's going on in the world. And I saw that, Joel Osteen's been like, numbers have been dwindling, dude. People are just over it. I think I read that we're in the age where people are over the mega churches. They don't like it anymore. And I think that this is kind of a good, it's a good barometer for where we're going as a society, right? I noticed that as of late, people they're kind of more gravitate towards the more rawness, you know, the more sincerity, you know. So I like what you said, how you have a small church. I don't even know how I got on this YouTube video where you're showing me statistics about church. Maybe because I was preparing for you're thinking you're gonna talk about church stuff. So I'm like looking kind of stuff up. But there's like an uptick in people who are now going to small churches, which is how it used to be, I guess, a long time ago. And then the big churches, like in the internet churches thing, took over, you know. But they're saying how like people are leaving the mega churches and they want to go to like a church where they know everyone type. Because dude, I was seeing videos of like these big churches and bro, they're like stadiums, dude. Like you don't even know everyone there, bro. But that's something that I also see with things like with the podcasting or with music too. It's like I'm noticing more people are starting to gravitate towards the sincerity stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like when I see like the fighter, like UFC embedded and stuff like that, you know, the thing I really like about that is you'll see like they always allow the fighters to like be themselves type stuff, you know what I mean? Like they just turn on the camera and you can say whatever you want to say. UFC's always been like that, right? But you see, like I'll see other leagues, you know, I'm not going to name any, you know, but it's like, you'll see them try to censor their fighters more, you know, like they'll tell them like, you can't say this, don't talk about that. And you kind of like see it in the interview. You kind of feel the energy, right? But yeah, I'm noticing like a shift where people just want rawness with music too. It's like they're kind of more of people are listening to music that maybe doesn't sound as polished, but then the vibe is like there, like the guy speaking from his heart type, you know, type ish.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I wonder if that's like, if you've noticed that in your church, I guess, I don't know, dude. I mean, I guess you have, right? Probably.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been going.
That's true. Much, you're a bad Christian, bro.
I know.
You're a bad Christian, man.
I'm messing up right now.
No, but you're in camp right now, dude. But that's what I was saying is it's hard, bro. If you want to do that stuff, if you want to fight and you got a job, dude, and then you got your responsibilities at the church and stuff, it's like, bro, that's a lot, bro.
Yeah.
And you got your brother, you said, that is special needs, or you got a nephew and a niece, right? Or 2 nephews?
And I have 2 nephews and a niece.
It's a lot, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, like I've been busy. Like I have a full schedule. So it's like working every day, training every day, tattooing every day. Not every day, but when I make appointments. But I'm trying to like just focus on this fight camp. Like this last month and a half, I've just been trying to dedicate more time to the gym and to training. But yeah, with everything going on, like just I have to work, I have to tattoo, I have to, you know, pay the bills, and then of course I have to spend time with my family. So it's just like my schedule's just been booked, and then I have to coach too. So yeah, it's been busy.
Yeah,
and I'm trying to make time for church too. But Yeah, I've been.
You ever think about doing online church?
No.
Is that not right? Not the move?
Oh, no. Probably wouldn't.
I feel like the online thing is like kind of hit a peak, or I don't think people want to do it any more than what it is, you know?
Yeah.
Like in terms of like the Zoom calls or Zoom churching.
Yeah, we do go live. We go live on Facebook. So, I mean, anybody could check in anytime.
Dude, I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
You know what's funny too is for broadcasting jobs, bro, churches pay the most, bro.
Yeah.
Like for the live streaming and all that, they'll pay like dude,
yeah. You know, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to log on to the live stream, because a lot of times the reason why I'm not going to church is because I'm like booking my tattoo appointments on church days. Yeah. So I could just be tattooing while the sermon's going on. So that'd be a trip, bro. I could do that actually.
Where are you tattooing out of? Are you at a studio? Or just
I'm at Prosperity Tattoos in Orange right now.
Is that like church tattoo spot?
No, it's not. No, it's just a tattoo studio.
I mean, no offense if it is, bro. I didn't mean that.
It's a tattoo studio.
Prosperity. No. All right.
Yeah.
That's in where you said?
It's in Orange. It's off of Tustin and Chapman, around there.
Tustin and Chapman. I'm
like
trying to think.
Between Chapman and 22.
Yeah, that's what I said. About 22.
Right there.
Isn't there like a jiu-jitsu spot like right there? Or there used to be, I think. I don't know if it's still there.
Maybe. I haven't seen it.
I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, I remember around that area there used to be a jiu-jitsu spot. It might be gone. I feel like a lot of these spots are going, these smaller like gyms are kind of going, which in general, bro, we don't care about health.
Yeah.
We just don't care about health, dog.
Exactly.
You just need to help us with that.
Yeah. For real.
Yeah, dude. Not to bring it back to religion, but I've always like wondering like if something's out there, bro. And I'm like, if he's out there, what was all this for? Why is all this here?
Yeah.
I don't know. Why can I do this? Why am I allowed to record and just talk bullshit?
Yeah.
You tell me, man. You know my bad, dude. Not to cut you off, but you know what's one thing that I always find fascinating, bro, is I feel like, so look, I'm Vietnamese, right? So if I'm gonna go follow the Christian religion, is like Jesus gonna look like me? Like, is the pictures gonna look Asian?
Like the pictures of Jesus?
Yeah, is he gonna be like Asian looking, like to represent me, or is he gonna be white Jesus? Am I praying to white Jesus?
Not.
Or am I praying
the
to
thing
Asian
is, he's
Jesus?
not even white, so I don't even know like white people.
He's supposed to be brown, right?
He's like he was born in the Middle East, so like he's
Jewish,
Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
Jewish.
But like, okay, does the pictures of your Jesus, is he the white Jesus, or do you guys have
like
I mean,
just like the typical Jesus. I don't even like spend time even thinking about how he looks. Like, I don't know why people even make that an issue. Like, oh, you know,
I feel like
this, he's that. Like,
I feel like that's a missed opportunity. If I was a pastor, I'd have my Jesus, I'd make him look like my people, you know?
Uh-huh.
So if I'm like an Asian pastor and I have a bunch of Asian people, I'm gonna have an Asian looking.
Yeah, but church is for everybody. It's not just for like one.
Yeah.
Even our church, like we don't just like welcome the Mexicans or like, you know, anybody.
Is it predominantly like Hispanic or church?
Yeah, just because of the area.
Yeah.
Like predominantly Mexican.
Do you guys do it in Spanish too?
Yeah, we have Spanish services too.
Dude, so I told you my mom was Jehovah's Witness, right? And like she was pretty hardcore into it when I was a kid, bro. We'd go to like, they call it Kingdom Hall. It's not called church. It's called Kingdom Hall. Have you ever been to, you probably have it. You don't know what that is, right? Jehovah's Witness thing?
No.
Bro, it's kind of a trippy religion, dude. They're very against like celebrating stuff, right? So you're not supposed to celebrate birthdays or have parties. So whenever, like if you were to have a birthday party and we're in school, then I have to go sit out somewhere else. They also have this other weird thing where they don't take blood transfusions.
Damn. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, they'll let their kid die, some of them.
Yeah.
I don't think my mom would let that happen. But anyways, it's a trippy religion. And one of the things that they practice a lot is giving up like worldly possessions and stuff. So if you go to, they call it, that's why they don't like to call it a church, because if you go inside, it just looks like an office space. It's like it's a regular building. There's not gold. There's not like a bunch of those glass paintings. It just looks like a regular building. And they might have like one big cross. Anyways, I forgot where I was going with that.
What are we talking about?
But just, I remember I used to go to church, Kingdom Hall with my mom a lot, dude. And it just was like everyone that, because of where my mom lived, we lived in Anaheim. It was all Spanish speaking people. And the ceremonies were in
Spanish?
They were in Spanish, bro. And I remember like that was back. I used to actually speak Spanish when I was younger.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to speak it.
You're half Mexican, huh?
I'm half Mexican,
yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I remember just going to Kingdom Hall, bro. And it was just like, damn, dude, I have to sit for all these hours and then like listen to people in Spanish. And I was like, this isn't fun. Dude, Jehovah's Witness is not a fun religion. I see you guys have fun, bro. You guys have rock music and stuff.
I started going to church because my friend invited me to a rap concert.
They have a rap church?
So I seen the video and we had rappers at our church. So I was like, well, yeah, rappers. I was like, that's cool. Because I was used to going to Catholic church and it's like, you know, you go there, it's like just church, mass. So I kind of found it boring. And then I was like, oh, this church has rappers. I was like, all right, cool. So that's why I started going to church.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, all right. So here's a question I got for you, bro. When you started fighting, like, did your church did they support you? I assume they all showed up.
Yeah. So I actually started fighting because I met some guy. We had a guest speaker, and he was an MMA coach. His name was Pat Lee. So I met him, and he invited us to his. It was like a gym, but it was at a church. But he invited us to train MMA. I was like, yeah, let's do this, and that's why I started getting into fighting. And he brought us to his gym and he started coaching us. And then we eventually started a program at Rain Training Center with Mark Munoz. And I was getting coached by Pat Lee, Tony Gomez, Steve Kim. And yeah, they were just coaching us. And it was like a free program. And then that's when I got into fighting. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I asked that because I noticed my friends that are fighting that are competing actively still. If they're super involved with their church, bro, they freaking sell tickets like crazy, bro.
Oh yeah, everybody's supportive. My pastor and his wife Elena, they just bought tickets for my fight for this Saturday.
For EFL.
Yeah, for EFL. So
yeah,
they're gonna be there. Everybody always goes to support.
Shout out Danny. I got to reach out to him because I asked him if I could cover the event. So I gotta see if he's still down to let me do that. I gotta get my camera guy. It's so fast.
Yeah, that's gonna be sick. I'm excited.
I'm excited, and I'm curious to see how Frankie's gonna do this because he's got Drew fighting the same night in San Diego, which is crazy, bro.
Mm-hmm. So it's gonna be my fight. So my fight starts at 2 p.m. I don't know when. I don't know what number I am, but
it's probably gonna be 10 or something.
Probably gonna be 3 or 4 by the time I go up.
Okay.
So say the fights end at 4 or 5. Drew's fighting at night in San Diego. So from Burbank to San Diego, it's about 3 hours. 3-hour drive.
Crazy.
So I mean, if all goes well and I'm healthy, I'll go with coach. I'll carpool with coach and go watch Drew fight. That'll be the ideal night.
Yeah, that'd be crazy if I hit up if I hit up Dennis and I cover both events the same night.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, I'm gonna cover. They have a WCK event. I don't know if I think I can say this. I think they already announced it. I'm pretty sure. I think I got the flyer. But Hung is gonna be putting on an event in Westminster for WCK.
I heard about that.
You live around Westminster, right? Do you
live in Garden Grove.
Okay. You live the border right there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that because my dad lives in Westminster, dude. So I spent a lot of time in that area. I lived when I would go visit him. I didn't live with him when I would visit him, right? So I've never seen any events over there, dude. I'm curious.
Yeah. I don't even know what's in I don't know any venues in Westminster. That's how I was like, when you posted it, I was like, Westminster. I was like, there's no really fight venues there. So
yeah.
I don't know where they'll host it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying too, dude. So I don't know, dude. I'm thinking someone mentioned that they might does Westminster High School have a stadium? Maybe no, they wouldn't do it outside that though, would they?
I don't think they'll do it in Westminster High School.
No.
Maybe
let me see. He sent me something.
Maybe the sports complex.
Oh, the one on Garden Grove Boulevard, right?
Probably, yeah.
Not. Is it not? Oh yeah, Golden West.
Golden West.
Oh yeah. For how big is that?
Is
it big? Oh, that might actually not be bad.
I think it's gonna be there.
That's
they've had fights there before actually.
Let me see. He sent me a flyer because I'm gonna do interviews for him to help promote it. Dude, I love Hung, bro. That guy is so chill, bro. Let me see. Curiosity. Oh no, he just sent me the fighters. Damn it. Oh, Truesdale's fighting. Oh wow, I love that guy. He's super cool. Oh wait, does it have a location? Damn. They're keeping it a secret.
I know. I wonder what's going to be.
Secret. I want to know so I can help promote it, dude.
Yeah.
I love my city. And then plus, it's I'm Vietnamese, dude. Westminster is home to a lot of Vietnamese folks. So, I got a lot of love for it, man. But yeah, dude, that's going to be crazy. So, I'm going to be covering the event, hopefully, for the elbow boxing event. If Frankie needs to leave, then I could probably just stay and help corner you. Just stop doing interviews, So I guess I think it'll work out no matter what. I'm curious to see what fight number you're going to be. So hopefully it's not crazy.
Yeah, I would assume it's probably going to be one of the later ones.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, Danny's cool, bro. I'm sure if we talk to him, he's a really cool guy, bro. Have you met him yet? Have you spoken with him?
I haven't, but I've seen videos of him, and he just seems like a real cool guy. He seems super humble. I'm like, this is somebody I want to fight for.
Dude, he's so nice, bro. I feel like I'm gonna be like him when I get old.
He seems super cool.
He's always smiling.
Yeah.
He still spars with the students and stuff.
That's cool.
So when I walked in to do our interview, I walked in and I seen pictures of someone, but it's kind of I feel like seeing pictures of someone sometimes isn't always the same as when you see him in person. You know? Maybe I got face dysmorphia where I can't remember faces. But I walk in and I'm looking for him, and then I look into the ring and I see him just sparring some Russian dude. He's got a bunch of Russians, bro.
I mean, I think Burbank is like a heavily populated with the Russians too.
Yeah, I think so too.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
But yeah, that's exciting. So we'll see that. I mean, you've been what are your plans for this event, bro? You got any secret sauce you've been trying to add to your camp? You know, anything
just
changed?
work my game. Try not to feed into his game. Just do what I'm comfortable with doing and do what works for me. So I mean, I always adjust as the fight goes, and like boxing is always is like picking up it's like picking up patterns.
Yeah.
So like if you do something and they react to some moves, then it's all about picking up patterns, like fighting. So
yeah,
I'll just see what I can work with.
Have you ever like been in a fight and you're getting whooped and you just pray to God? You're like, come on, God, if you just help me out here. Have you ever done that, or is that kind of like
where the tables turned?
Yeah, where you're just like please God, help me out here, bro. No, you don't play around like that.
No, I haven't really thought about it. Honestly, like when I'm fighting, I'm just so in the zone. You're just like kind of trying to see what works and what doesn't.
Yeah. I guess that's another question for me is, have you ever like just been in a situation that like where like, okay, that one fight you had where you were winning and then I thought you were winning at least, and then you got head kicked and you got like, where did you get kind of like asked like, why God, like why did this happen?
Nah, it's just like, it just happened. Like, and the thing is like, I was like already, like the first head kick I got, I was already out. I feel like I was, already had a concussion. You know what's funny? It actually happened like before that. So if you see the fight, like after I drop him and everything, like he gets back up, we go back to exchange. So I don't know what I got hit with, but I got hit with in the back of the head. I don't know if it was with because he threw a kick, but it looked like it missed. And then after he threw the kick, he turned around and he threw a back fist. Spinning back fist. And I think that's what hit me. I think it was the spinning back fist, but it grazed my head, but it hit me. Oh. And then after like the referee like splits us, you could see me kind of like wobbling. And like that, at that point, is kind of like when I was already dazed, and I switched my stance. So I went in orthodox and then I switched my stance to southpaw because I was like, I got hit. So I switched my stance, and I think that's what left the opening for, he kicked me in the body and then he went right back to the head. Yeah. So I was like, after that, I was like, I thought I was out. And then I'm like getting back up slowly, and I see my brother, he's like, get up. He's just yelling at me. And I'm like, damn, like it felt like a movie, like when everything's
like a Rocky movie?
Yeah, like everything's just blurry, and then like everybody's just like, get up. And then I'm like, you know what? Gotta get back up. So I got back up and I was like, nah, I'm still in this. Yeah. And then we went another round and I got kicked in the head again. And I was out. Yeah.
So you didn't question, like, I wouldn't say question your faith, but I feel like whenever bad things happen to me, I'm like, I'm not even religious, but I'd be like, why God? Yeah. I'll still ask him. Like,
I never question my faith just because, like, that's the Bible promises that there's gonna be trials. Like, nobody's gonna live a perfect life. Like everybody's gonna go through trials and tribulations. Like the Bible says, the rain falls on the good and the bad. So just because you're a good person doesn't mean you're not gonna experience hardships in your life. So, and just because you're a bad person doesn't mean you're not gonna experience good things in your life. So whatever it is, like good and bad both happen to good and evil people. So yeah, I mean, it's a part of life.
Yeah. Hey, can I ask you a random question? Are your parents still together?
Yeah, they're still together.
Oh, dude, that's cool. You think that's a religious thing? You think that's a religious thing?
They're not even religious. Like they'll go to church. They still go to church, but they're not religious. But yeah, it's just they've been together for a long time. Like,
bro, it's crazy because it's like rare that people tell me, honestly.
Yeah, no, honestly, like they said the divorce rate was like 50-50. It's probably higher. But honestly, it's higher. Now I feel like I meet more people whose parents aren't together than I meet whose parents are together. And yeah, I'm blessed enough to be able to say that my parents are still together. So yeah, I love my parents. They raised me right. Like they showed me what a healthy marriage looks like. So even of course they still have their problems. Like everybody has their problems, but I feel like they showed me a good example of what it means to be in a healthy marriage. So.
Yeah. No, I think that's the benefit you get from having both parents that stay together. Is you see the best thing I think is you see how to communicate with each other, bro. Yeah, honestly, because I think a lot of people, at least my friends and stuff, the biggest problem they have with their significant other is the way they communicate with each other is not the healthiest way. And honestly, a lot of that I think has to do too with the type of person you are. Like the way I am, maybe I'm communicating in a certain way to someone else that it's just not rubbing them the right way. And it's maybe I could change it, or just maybe find someone that speaks your language, baby. You know, you know what I mean?
Yeah, everybody has like their own way of speaking too. Like sometimes like the way you speak might like rub somebody the wrong way. Like you might be like you might feel like you're talking assertively, but then to them they might feel like, oh, he's being aggressive.
Yeah, like mean and shit.
Yeah, he's being mean, but it's like, oh, it's the way I'm talking, or like, you know, you might feel like you're being sarcastic or whatever, and then like, oh, he's making fun of me. So I mean, I feel like you just had to be in the same page as your partner.
Yeah, I think also too, I say just find the person that speaks your language, baby. Yeah. I think it's easiest, bro, because look, I'm 35, bro, and I'm at the point where I'm not gonna say, I mean, I'm not a pimp or anything, but I've dated a few different types of chicks in my life, right? And I'm at the point where I'm just like, I'm not trying to change me or change you. I'm just gonna find someone that we just work, bro.
Exactly.
And, like, dude, I'll give you an example, dude. I used to date this Filipino chick, and she was cool and all, but whenever I would tell her things, she would take it as if like I was being mean to her. Like, and I'll give you an example, right? So I remember one time we were just watching a movie and she was like giving me a massage, right? Like the thing about me is like, I'm cool with massages. They're cool, but I would rather have just my back lightly scratched. You know, that's so relaxing to me. It makes me just want to go to sleep, dude.
Yeah.
So I mentioned that to her, and I guess the way I said it to her, she took it all offensive. Like she thought that I was being rude.
Yeah.
So I was like, she's like, I'm doing you a favor and you're just telling me what to do type. I didn't know I said it like that. I was just trying to tell her, I didn't care. You could do whatever you want, bro. In my head, I'm just like, oh, this is just what I like, you know? But my point being is like, I realized I was like, damn, me and this chick, we just do not speak the same language, bro. And I remember too, like one of the things, one time we were driving around, you know, and I was playing music and she said that all my music was like angry and you know, and I was like, I didn't catch that. But then now I'm like, oh, the way she interfaces with the world is so different than me. Like what she thinks is aggressive or mean is like, to me is like, okay, normal, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's like, if I wanted to stay with her, I probably would have to change and try to be more, I guess, censored myself a little bit better. But I was like, man, fuck that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like you kind of just have to find somebody who you're going to connect with. Like,
I feel like, man,
yeah,
I feel like it's easier.
You don't want to, you know, have to change your whole, you know, personality just to be with somebody. Because then at the end of the day, like, you're going to feel worn out. Like, you're going to feel like you're putting on a mask, like, the whole time you're with them. You can feel like you're walking on eggshells, and you don't want that.
I didn't like it, dude. I thought I was really, when we had that, dude, like, because we turned into like a little, like, I wouldn't say argument, but a little back and forth about the back scratch thing. And in my head, I was like, damn, bro.
Shouldn't even be an argument. Like,
I just was like, is this going to be the rest of my life?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she's cool, bro. If she's listening, I don't know if she watches my show or anything. I have a lot of love for her. I'm not going to say her name, dude. I got a lot of love for her, bro. I wish her nothing but the best. I ended up I blocked her recently, dude.
Yeah.
I made this decision, bro, like recently where I was like, no more fucking dude. I was like, I'm gonna lock in. I've been kind of like fucking off with my gym stuff. I've been fucking off with my finances. I was like, I'm gonna lock in, dude. I'm not stop spending money on dumb shit. I just blocked a few chicks that I was like, that I knew were bad, just bad for me, dude. And I'm just like, all right, dude, I'm just gonna. I don't see. One of the things is I told myself by 35, I was like, if I date at 35, I'm gonna date with intention, you know, no more just hooking up. So it's like, if I don't see a future with you, I just gotta cut you off, dude. Yeah. That's why I mentioned earlier how I broke up with that other ex that was in Burbank. I don't know if I was on camera or not, but I just didn't see a future with her, you know.
Yeah.
And so I just
after a certain age, you just like, there's no time for games. Like, you don't really have time to be messing around. And
yeah,
it's like.
Dude, so like I'll tell you the little story on how we ended things, bro. So I was at her crib a few weeks ago, and it was like 3 a.m, bro. We were out for her friend's birthday, and I freaking just was like, I already didn't want to be out. It was a Sunday, and I told her like the week before that I had already missed work on Monday because we partied, and I was just too tired to go to work. And so I was like, I told her on Sunday, I was like, if we go out, I want to be in bed by like a certain time. We stayed out till 3 a.m, got back to her crib, and then she's like inviting her friends over to party. She didn't work Monday. She works out like. I think she starts working at like 2 or 3 p.m. on Monday, I mean, you know? So she's partying, and in my head, I was like, damn, dude. I was like, I don't see a future with this chick. I was like, honestly, I was like, dude, you don't even respect me like that. And I straight up told her, I was like, if you're staying at my crib, I would never just throw a party when you told me you need to get sleep, you know?
Yeah.
So I just left, and then I blocked her. And I remember telling her, I was like, hey, I'm going to go home. It's like 3 a.m. She lives in Burbank. I live in Anaheim. You know, it's already, I got to be up at 6. I remember telling her, I'm going to go home. And she's all like, she's off drunk and with her friends all happy. And I was like, I'm never going to see you again. I think I mentioned I'm never coming back here.
Yeah.
And she thought I was being sarcastic. She like was all happy, and she gave me a hug and a kiss. And she's like, all right, bye, I love you. And I got to my car, bro. And I was like, damn, this B does not even know how serious I am. I blocked her ass. I blocked her number. I blocked her IG. I was like, you're not even going to get to communicate with me after this, bro.
Damn.
That's the type of energy I'm on right now. I'm just on a like F you, just block everyone. No hate or anything. I just gotta do my thing, bro. I just gotta lock in right now. That's how I really feel.
Yeah.
So, who knows? Maybe.
Same with me. I'm just like gotta lock in. Like, you know, especially like, you know, being involved in like so many things. Like, you know, you got a fight coming up, you got training, you got coaching, you got tattooing. Like, especially when as a tattoo artist, like a lot of times like if I'm talking to somebody, they'll get mad because I'm not replying to them like right away, or like I'll go a day or 2 days without texting somebody. Like I'm not on my phone just texting people. Like I'm so busy, I don't text all the time. So like if I'm talking to somebody, they'll get mad like, oh, you know, you're not talking to me, or you're talking to all these other girls. Like, no, I'm just like literally I don't have time to be, you know, texting somebody. So like if I'm just like tattooing, I wouldn't be on my phone for hours. Yeah. And then I'll miss somebody's text, whatever. And, you know, like
locked in.
I'm just gotta lock in. Just gotta lock in.
Yeah. No, I mean, how old are you, bro?
I'm 31.
All right. You got a little bit of time. Probably start now though, man.
No,
I'll wait till I was 35.
Yeah, I feel like I don't have enough time.
Dude, I thought, dude, and honestly, like I said, I love the gym and Spider and all that, but that's like, I was like, damn, I used to be at the gym a lot and I just was not doing anything, dude. Like outside of the gym, I wasn't like taking care of my job or anything else. I was okay with just a whatever job, you know, and I was okay just doing the same shit, you know? So yeah. So that's, like I said, that's part of the reason why I'm trying to like lock in now. I'm 35, bro. Isn't that crazy?
Man, time goes by quick.
Damn,
like time goes by so quick. I remember just like being in high school the other day and I closed my eyes, opened my eyes. Damn, I'm already 30. Yeah. It's crazy.
That's very true. Hey, does your church, how do they feel about the tattooing thing?
I mean,
what does the church even say about tattoo? Is there a thing about that?
I mean, yeah, like the Bible says, you know, don't get markings, but like literally the verse before or right after says, don't cut your hair, like don't cut your beard, whatever. So it's like, okay, we're not gonna get tattoos, then you can't cut your hair either. Mm-hmm. So it's like that certain scripture is talking about that certain tribe. So those rules were for that tribe. It's not, you know, for us today. Because if you want to go by that scripture alone, then you have to go by the whole scripture as like everything as a whole. You can't just take one scripture and say like, oh, look, this is what the Bible says. Like, yeah, the Bible says a lot of other things too. The Bible says, you know, you shouldn't be wearing jewelry too. Like you shouldn't be doing this. Like, but you know, so you can't just like pick and choose like what scriptures you want to, you know, follow. So you have to take everything into context. Like this was written for this tribe specifically because of this. So I mean, I love tattoos. Like I don't think my pastor's a big fan of tattoos, but he respects what I do. So
is like, did they even mention like they didn't have tattoos back then though, right? In the like when they wrote the Bible, or did they?
No, yeah,
they did.
Tattoos have been on for crazy, forever. Bro. Yeah, they'll do markings, but at that time too. Back in those days, they'll do markings for like
slavery.
Maybe, I don't know. Probably, I don't know, for like for like worshiping their own god. So like, I love tattoos just because I love art. Like it is. I have a crush right here.
I just think they look cool.
Yeah, I think tattoos look cool. Like you don't even need to have like a meaning behind tattoos. You could just get a tattoo because it's cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love tattoos. I love doing tattoos. I've been drawing my whole life, so it's just kind of like what got me into tattooing too. So yeah,
I just think they look cool, and I think that probably not comfortable with my own body, so that's why I do. People say tattoos is like body dysmorphia. It's kind of like, you know, when people work out a lot. Maybe I just want to be cool.
I think I'll look cooler. Cool. Like my whole body's tatted. I still need to get my other hand tatted too.
Yeah,
I need to get a lot more tattoos.
Yeah. Is your brother still is he still at Storm? Is that even a gym?
Yeah, he's at Storm. Yeah. My brother, he's a coach at Storm MMA in Laguna. Yeah. So if anybody wants some personal training, hit up my brother. He's a really good coach, personal fitness coach, boxing coach, any sports performance coach. Hit up my brother, Yadir Perez.
Yadir Perez, baby.
Yeah,
shout out there.
Shout out Yadir Perez.
Do you feel, because he's got 2 kids now, right? So do you feel like you got to catch up or something? Because I feel like Mexicans and Christians are all about having kids.
I'm like way behind, huh? I feel like I'm way behind.
My mom asked me about grandkids. I was like, don't hold your breath.
I feel like I'm behind, but honestly, like hanging out with my nephews or my niece, like I feel like that's what fills me. Like I don't feel like I need my own kids. Like I'll have my kids when it's time to have kids, but it's already past time. But
You're 31, 31, 32?
yeah.
Dude.
But I feel like with my nephews, like I feel they're not my kids, of course, but they feel like my own kids. Just like when I'm hanging out with my nephew Ezra, it's just like we just have this bond where we just like always have a good time. And I love hanging out with them.
I feel like kids are cooler to be around when they're not yours.
Yeah,
You know?
it's true. Yeah,
You gotta pay for their
yeah. It's cool. Like when we hang out, I feel like I don't need to correct them. I don't need to discipline them. It's like we just have a good time.
Dude, I don't even know what I would do with the kid, bro. I think I would have to like be careful with what I said. I'm like, I habitually just smoke weed without even thinking what's around me or who's around me. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I mean, do you have any plans for after this fight? Like,
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're going to get some type of food, right?
I can't. Literally, right after this fight, I have another fight lined up right away.
Is it for Spider or what?
No, for the same promotion.
I
believe it's the same promotion.
Oh, you're gonna do they're doing because you're gonna do the second show.
Yeah, so it's there's one this one
May 7th.
March 7th.
March 7th.
And then right after they're having another show April 2nd, but it's a private show. So it's a kickboxing show. It's not EFL.
Oh, but it's for Danny though.
But I believe it's for Danny.
Yeah, damn. Danny's
so.
That fool wasn't putting in work. I knew of him, but I didn't realize how he had his hand in all these different promotions.
So I was like, oh man, I'm so excited to eat. I'm so excited to drink. I'm so excited to do all these things. Like, but my coach Frankie, he hit me up. He's like, hey, you want to fight April 2nd? I was like, let's do it. So
yeah.
It's for a private show in Beverly Hills.
Damn.
It's gonna be
Beverly Hills
in front of rich people, and celebrities. So it's gonna be cool.
So is it? It's not gonna be the EFL though, right? It's something else.
I don't know. It's under the EFL, but I think it might be under Danny.
Yeah,
I think.
I'm not sure. He probably partnered with something else. Dude, that guy's connected, bro. He's like cool with like Lordzilla and like all these other fools. He's got like I think he's connected with what's that MT Muay Thai America? Is that the name of it? The one in LA? I think it's called Muay Thai America.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an old school Muay Thai gym. It's like one of the first Crew Rex's gym. I don't know if you ever heard of that guy.
No.
It's like one of the first Muay Thai gyms like in the whole country. But yeah, he's connected, man. I saw him like chilling with Lordzilla. Sanchai, he has Sanchai's number, bro.
Yeah,
that's why Sanchai's number, bro.
That's dope.
They just talk, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy.
FaceTime. Right, bro? You saw that clip I posted?
I did see the clip.
Fucking crazy.
Damn.
I was like, no way. You know Sanchai?
That's sick.
Dude, what a cool guy. Living it up, man.
Yeah, I'm excited to fight for him.
Yeah, he's cool. I like him. I like his energy. I like his ideas too. He had that idea with Fighters Pay. I don't know if you saw that segment.
Yeah.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, it is a cool idea.
Yeah, for those of you that haven't seen the episode, you should check it out. It's the interview I did with Danny Gutierrez. I think it's like 4 or 5 episodes back, but one of the things he mentioned was having like a way to pay fighters, like amateur fight, like any fighter, amateur, pro, whatever. But you kind of got the idea. It seems like from OnlyFans or from Kick, right? So it's just basically what he wants to do is like when the fighter comes up on stage or something to fight, there'll be like a QR code that you can just like take a picture of, and then it'll lead straight to a donation for them. And he said that the people that are hosting it, they take only a small percentage. It was like under 10% or something. I think he said like 2 to 4%.
Yeah, that's cool.
So most of it's going to the fighter, right? So
man, it's a way to pay fighters.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Good way for fighters to make money, because there's not a lot of money in the fight business.
Mm-mm. And that's why I feel like fighting in America, just in general, has been kind of unless you're getting into MMA. We have a really good MMA program over here, but it's even in MMA, bro.
There's not a lot of money.
Well, look at the champions in the UFC. I'm just going to use them because they're like they're like the thing, right? How many Americans are holding the belt right now? Who am I thinking of? None.
Yeah, none.
I can't think of any.
Yeah.
Am I retarded? I don't think we have any. So, anyways, there's the part of the problem with that is because it costs so much money to fight, and it takes so much of your time that you could be making money, and instead you're spending money fighting and losing money. And so, I think with adopting like this new method of like where we the fans pay a fight, it doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to be $20 or $30. You could give them like $5-6, whatever you got. I think this can help preserve. I wouldn't say preserve, but I think this can help push like fight sports further for America. Because dude, look, I'm American, bro. I love America. We just had the Olympics. We lost to Norway. Freaking Norway.
Yeah.
I know Norway's the winner of the Olympics. It's like they live in this winter. F that. We're American. We should win everything all the time, bro.
We should be top in every sport.
Exactly. And so with fighting, we're lacking. And I think because there's just no money in that. And so if the promotions can't get the money for the fighters, then it's up to us as fans to give money for the fighters. And I'd be willing to put money down for a fighter, just a couple bucks or something,
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that. This other idea I have too is I want to get the state to start subsidizing fighting. Like I get involved with gyms. Like, hey, we'll cut you back on X amount of rent. You know, if you because you're a fight gym, it's like good for the community type stuff. And just tell the owner like, hey, if we'll subsidize like 20-30% of the rent, and we'll get you back in taxes.
Yeah.
So no one loses money, right? I mean, sure, like the landlord is going to be like, I'm making less money per month, but if the government's like, we'll get you back in taxes, it could like help out, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just some ideas I got.
Yeah, that'd be a way to do it.
Make America fight again, baby.
For reals. We've gotten soft as a generation.
Yeah. One thing I want to bring up though, because you mentioned it on your last story, the last episode, bro. So I kind of want to bring it up again because it was a good story, bro. Dude, I dude, the story with you and the Samoans, bro.
Oh yeah.
You want to bring that up real quick?
Yeah. Yeah. So this was like when I first became a youth leader too. Like we're having like this baptism. We're having baptisms at the beach, and I would always have all the kids in my car. Like I'll take them everywhere. Like. Dude, like I said, like my whole life was dedicated to the youth. Like when I became the youth leader, and at this time I had barely started getting into fighting too. So, and I believe I was like doing track and cross country at the time. So I was like a little scrawny little kid too. And but after the beach, we're leaving and we're walking towards the cars, and like we had like 3 or 4 cars pull up on us, and so the kids that were a part of the youth group, they're all like gang members, like cholitos, like, and everybody looked banged out. And so these cars rolled up on us, and they were all Samoan. Like it was like they came out of the car and they started repping like Tongue and Crip gang. And I was like, I went up to the guy, I was like, cause I told all the kids, hey, like stay back. And then I was like, hey, like, is there a problem? Like, we're over here with the church. And then one of the kids, I think he said something, but I was like, dude, like, I'm not going to let these kids, get jumped. So of course I stepped up to the Samoan guy, and then, I don't even know what happened, but they told me that I got jumped. Like, I think the biggest guy, like he threw a Superman punch at me.
A Samoan?
A Samoan guy, a big old Samoan guy. He threw
crazy.
A Superman punch at me, and I was taking off my backpack because I was like, okay, you know what? Like, there's no talking him out of this. Like, and, like as a fighter, like the number one thing you do is like is talk your way out of a fight. Like you don't need a fight like in the streets. So I was just trying to talk him out of it, and then he was like, when I seen that there was no backing out, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna take my backpack off. As we're about to fight, and I was taking my backpack off, and that's when he threw a Superman punch at me. So he caught me off guard. Not only was he like twice my size, he caught me off guard. Cheap shot at me, threw a Superman punch, but the kid said I hit him with the uppercut, so I still landed my shot. But after that, I got knocked out. I forgot everything. Like I lost my memory. I remember I woke up in bed, and I was like, I completely forgot about the day. And like I woke up in bed, and like I see my phone, and then like some of the kids' moms were like, "Hey, where's my son? Where's my son?" I was like, "What?" I was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Why would I know where your son's at?" Like I don't know where your son's at. Like, why are you asking me? And then I seen a bunch of other messages like, hey, you okay? You okay? I was like, yeah, why? Yeah, I thought I'd just take a long nap. And then I go to the living room. My brother's like in the living room. He's like, dude, he's like, you got knocked out. I was like, what? Like, what do you mean? So they show me the video. Like, not the video. No, there's no video about that. They show me a video of like me in the car with my brother asking me like, hey, did you know? Because this was around the time Ali died. I think it was the time Muhammad Ali died. He's like, hey, did you know Muhammad Ali died? I was like, what? No way, that's crazy. And then 3 seconds later, hey, did you know Muhammad Ali died? I was like, what? No way, that's crazy. It's just like a video of me, like everything is on repetition. Like I lost my memory. And then I was just like my whole day from that day was gone. And then but I remember they told me that one of the kids, like these are little kids, not little kids. They're like 15, 14, 13, 15, 16 years old. So they can't even drive. But one of the kids, like he ended up driving my car, and like his name was Gus. He ended up passing away like a few years later. But yeah, he ended up driving my car, and he drove me to my brother's house. And then from there, like my brother drove them home. They took me to the hospital. But yeah, pretty much it. Got knocked out.
Gnarly.
Lost my memory.
Samoans are crazy.
lot of concussions since then.
Yeah, Samoans are big, bro. Don't fuck
Samoans
with
are big.
them. Dude,
I mean, now I'll take him on.
Send your best Samoan.
If you're Samoan and you remember knocking some kid out, like, I think it was 2016. Yeah, I want my run back. It was me. I want my run back.
He wants to run that fade back, bro. No, you're a man of God now, bro. Bring him to church. Man of God. I have an encounter with the Samoan dude. I'll share it real quick. A while back, dude. So, you know the Thai New Year's festival?
Yeah.
So okay, let me start from the beginning, actually. So I remember there's this Muay Thai influencer chick, bro. You know me, bro. I love to troll people on the internet. I love to troll people on the internet. I do. It's funny, dude. You know, don't take shit serious. But there's this influencer chick, and she was teaching a technique, and I just made a comment like, you know, I just put, you know, this technique's good because she was just, I can't remember what she was showing, but she was like leaning back all weird. And I was like, yeah, you know, it's good technique because look how good she's leaning back. I just was being funny, you know? And a girl like that, like this influencer chick had started talking shit to me. She was like a little 14-year-old girl. She was a fighter, right? I'm not a dick, bro. I'm not going to talk to a kid, bro. I went on her page. She was 14. She's from NorCal. So I like never knew her or anything, but we followed some of the same people. She's a good fighter, bro. I saw some of her clips. You know, she's a rising fighter, Samoan. But anyway, so I was trying to be nice and just like nicely talk shit, you know, but not like really talk. Just kind of be like, oh, you're just a little girl, like, you know, don't. I think I said something like, don't mind the big boys or something. And she was straight up talking shit, cussing at me, calling me all this, saying my podcast sucks. So I was like, all right, dude, I'm gonna go in. So I started talking to her back. You know, I wasn't saying anything inappropriate, and I wasn't like really cussing at her. Mind you, she's a minor, and I understand this, you know. But I'm just saying like kind of mean things, like saying, anyways, I'm just saying her technique's trash and, you know, all this and that. Anyways, I get a message from her dad later on, bro. Her dad's like telling me how I was talking to his daughter and he wanted to like pee me up and he's all like, where's your gym? So he went and found my gym and he's all like, I'm Samoan. You're like, I could probably pick my teeth with your skinny ass. And I was all like, all right, bro. I was already like, damn, this is Samoan fool. I already was like, if I end up seeing this fool, because he told me, because his daughter was fighting at the Thai New Year's Festival. That's why I brought it up and I was going to go there. You know, I think we had our own fighters at that year. But yeah, we had 2 fighters fighting that year. So I was like, damn, I'm going to see him at the Thai Festival. He's going to be huge, bro. And so I was already thinking like, in my head, I'm already thinking of a game plan. I'm just kicking him in the dick. And then I'm just like, do they search you? I was like, maybe I should bring a gun or something, you know? and it's funny because I was thinking that and he's all like, I bet you're going to bring a gun. He told me that. He's like, I bet you little pussy ass is going to bring a gun. And I straight up told him like, probably. And he's all like, I'll go to jail. I don't care. He's like, no one messes with my daughter. And I was like, oh. And I was like, you know, I'm gonna troll this one back. So I started trolling him back, and I'm just pissing him off. I was like, whatever happens, happens. And he ends up messaging me like a day later, apologizing, bro. Yeah, just randomly just apologized. Damn. And dude, this fool went to the lengths of he found Spider Muay Thai, bro. He found some of my friends and stuff, and then he was like, I'm gonna send some of this to your friend, to some promoters, and see if they want to have you host their events, this and that. And I was like, all right, dude, this guy's pretty mad. He got a lot of time on his hands. But he messaged me like another day later. So this is like 2 days later. And he apologized to me. And he told me that he got upset because his daughter got SA'd. You know what that stands for, right? Yeah. So he apologized to me. He's like, hey, my bad. He's like, I've been going through a lot. He's like, my daughter was SA'd recently, you know? And so when I saw that, it really made me upset as a father. I just wanted to protect her. And he's like, I felt like I couldn't protect her. And apparently this dude was in the Marines and stuff. Yeah. And so he's like, I fought for my country and then I couldn't even fight for my daughter. And I was like, dude, he left me a long, deep message, bro. Dude, and I apologized to him. I was like, hey, bro, my bad. I was like, honestly, I was just trolling, dude. And like, I didn't mean to... I mean, I didn't felt like I cussed at your daughter or said anything like too bad. But yeah, I was trolling her. And I was like, but I'll go back and I'll delete everything. My bad, dude. So I went back and I deleted everything and we became cool. And he's like, hey, my daughter's fighting at that event. And he's like, I'd like to meet you, you know? Yeah. And I was like, all right, bet, dude. I was like, maybe we can have a beer. I didn't get to find him though. I went there and I couldn't find him. I think he was probably like in the back, probably setting up, dude. And we ended up leaving after our fighters were done. But yeah, it was a crazy experience. Actually, you know what? I have a Samoan, a guy that I met. He's a Samoan dude. His name he goes by the name of, I interviewed him for my podcast. He's from Sons of Samoa. It's like the biggest Samoan gang in America, right? I actually hit him up about this guy. And I told him I knew this guy, and they knew each other, which is funny, dude. Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, but Samoans, it's like there's not a lot out here. Yeah, so I can imagine. And they're
very close knit. Yeah, like they're very family oriented.
They're Mormons.
Yeah. Did you know that? A lot of them are.
Isn't that crazy, bro? Yeah. You guys missed the mark on that one, Christians.
Yeah.
Go back over.
Yeah, they're very family oriented, like very close knit together. So that's cool.
Yeah. So I hit up my homie and told him, hey, this guy's wants to shoot me.
Yeah.
And my homie was like, I'll go to the event with you. He's like, I'll check it out. He lives in LA, in Long Beach. So he's like, I live towards LA anyways. But it ended up all being cool anyways. And then
but shout out for him stepping up for his daughter.
I would, dude. Honestly, that was crazy how he.
Yeah.
How the fact that he apologized, I was very impressed. I was like, damn, he's actually probably a good man, bro. He's probably has good values. And Samoans do have good values for the most part, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
They're good people. But yeah, dude, I remember I was telling my homie about when we were arguing with them. I was like, hey, you got my back. and he's all like, you Samoan? I was like, yeah. He's like, let me see a picture. I showed him. He's like, damn, that was big. I was like, I know, bro.
They're huge.
And my homie was like, nah, dude, just bring a gun. He's like, you're gonna die, bro. He's like, even though you know how to fight, he's like, he's gonna kill you, bro. And I couldn't agree with him. I couldn't agree more with him. I mean, yeah. But yeah, with that, dude, you got anything you want to add? Anything coming up? You said you got the EFL coming up. You got the kickboxing thing, tattoos. What else do you want to add in there?
Don't want to add. I think everything's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, just got these fights coming up. Tattooing. Yeah, staying busy.
All right. Where can people find what's your IG, your handles, all that?
It's you can find my Instagram at Yadir YADIR _Perez PEREZ, and then my tattoo page is Yadizy _tattoos. So that's YADEEZY _tattoos. So if anybody wants a tattoo, hit me up.
Hit him up, dude. He's over at Orange. He'll be fighting at EFL on the 7th. Then what's the date on the second one?
The second one is April 2nd, but nobody's invited to that one. It's a private show.
Oh, that one's a private event. If that's Danny, I'll see if I can get in there. Maybe I could just record the event or something. That'd be cool. Yeah, maybe I can link him.
I want some footage on that one too. So.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can link him with Kevin or something, maybe, because Kevin, he does good work with that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'll just be there to do interviews. But yeah, check him out. Check his IG out. Spider Muay Thai, Yadir.
Yeah, I just want to shout out everybody at the gym.
Shout out
all the Spider Muay Thai, and good luck to Drew on his upcoming fight too. So
good luck, Drew. Good, and shout out his church, which was
Streetlight Church.
Streetlight Church. Shout out Streetlight Church. Everyone at home, thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Laters.
There, baby. Woo.